Do you know that building film looks is actually very easy? If not, please watch this video, as today I'll show you how to create beautiful film looks using DaVinci Resolve's inbuilt LUT, Kodak 2383, so you'll be able to get results like this or this. And also I would like to announce that my new PowerGrade Master Blend is almost ready and it will be available to purchase in a few days' time. So if you ever struggle with the creativity, building film looks and you don't know where to start, this is something for you, as this PowerGrade is a customizable node tree that will help you to build film looks like this or this. And another news is that I give this PowerGrade for free to all of my students, those who have joined my course, Mastering Color Grading in DaVinci Resolve. And I have a great deal for those who haven't joined it yet. So now there's a special promotion. This promotion will last only until the November the 10th. So you will be able to purchase the course only for $116. Plus, you will get the PowerGrade worth $45 for completely free. So don't miss your chance. And just to remind you, my course currently contains 23 comprehensive lessons that teach everything from the color management and primary color correction to more advanced color grading techniques. So if you want to be way more confident as a colorist, please consider joining. I will leave you a link to it below this video. And now let's move to the main part of the video. So I already have two clips on my timeline. This one has been shot as Rec. 709, so I didn't have to convert anything here. And this one has been shot as log. So let me show you quickly how I set up my project. As when I select bypass color management over here, this is how it looked initially. This is a log format straight from the camera. But I usually work using DaVinci Resolve color management. So first we need to go here to the settings and we need to change the color science to DaVinci Resolve color managed. And some of you have asked me before, why do I use the color managed workflow instead of using CST nodes? Well, there's a lot of benefits of it. To me, it basically helps me to be more efficient, as the color management ensures that all clips across the timeline are automatically transformed from log to Rec. 709. So I find it more convenient than using CST nodes. Then my color processing mode is set to DaVinci Wide Gamut Intermediate, which is the broadest color space. And also again, if it all sounds quite complicated to you, please join my course. It will clarify a lot. And then my output color space is set to Rec. 709A, which is a color space you use when you are grading using your computer screen. But if you have a calibrated monitor, it will probably be Rec. 709 Gamma 2.4, depending on how your monitor is calibrated. Okay, so now sometimes our clips are not being converted automatically, so we just need to check by right-clicking on them if they have the right input color space selected. Here my clip is shot as Blackmagic Pocket 6K, so it's all good. So now let's move to the first clip and let's start grading. And today I want to show you how easy it is to build film looks in DaVinci Resolve using its Kodak LUTs. So we will start from applying the LUT correctly to our clip, as a lot of people don't know how to do it correctly. But let's create a very simple node tree first. I'll hit Option S twice. So now I have 3 serial nodes that I will use as my primary adjustments. Then I will hit Option S and Option P to get 2 parallel nodes for my secondary adjustments. And then at the end, I will create 2 more serial nodes for the LUT. And then again, if you are very confused, you don't know what nodes are, what's the difference between serial, parallel, or layer nodes, join my course. But coming back to our LUT, on this first node, as we have to remember that DaVinci Resolve LUTs are designed for the Cineon film log color space, we need to use here the color space transform node to convert our clip from Rec. 709 to Cineon first. So I will label my node correctly. And then this following node, it will be our LUT. So now let's just grab the color space transform from the Effects tab and let's just drop it to this node. And here, because we have set up the color management correctly before, the input color space, input gamma, and the output color space should be set as Rec 709. So I will do this. And then the only difference is that the output gamma should be set to Cineon film lock. Perfect. So now the clip looks very washed out, and this is correct, as this is how the clip converted to Cineon should look like in this scenario. So now let's right click on the LUT node. Then let's go to film looks. And then here we have 6 LUTs that are designed for the P3 color space. So we are not using them today. We are using the ones designed to work in the Rec 709 color space. And I prefer the Kodak LUTs. So we have here 3 different versions of the same LUT. D55 is basically the warmest version. And this is before and after. It doesn't look right yet, but don't worry, it's just the beginning. We just need to adjust it. So the first thing we can do is we can highlight these 2 nodes. Then let's right click and let's create a compound node that will basically merge both the conversion node and the LUT node together. And there's a reason why I work like this. By doing this, then we can go here to the key tab. And when we think that our LUT is too strong for our clip, we can reduce the gain over here, like this, in order to change the intensity of the LUT. But I will leave it set to the maximum. And now, as we have started from the LUT, we will be adjusting the contrast, the exposure, and so on to make this LUT look as good as it is possible. And also there's a reason why I have placed the LUT at the end of the node tree, because this way we preserve the image quality, as when we apply the creative LUT, we basically compress or clip image data like shadows, midtones, and highlights. And this makes it harder to recover details during further adjustments. So always place the resolve LUTs at the very end. Okay, so let's label our primary nodes first. This will be my exposure. This will be my balance. And this will be my contrast. And I will use my primary wheels to bring the shadows, midtones, and highlights levels to the right range. I am looking at the scopes doing this. Okay, looking good. This is before and after. And now I'll move to my balance node. And then here I will change the parade to the vector scope. And here the general rule is that in order to have a well-balanced shot, we need to make sure that this trace is perfectly in the middle. But it's not always the case. It all depends on the creative look we want to achieve. I explain more about it in my course. But today, let's use the offset wheel to push this trace more to the middle. And here I just make sure that my skin tones look natural by doing this. Perfect, before and after. Now we are actually getting quite close to the teal and orange look, which I really like. So now let's move to the contrast node. And let's see if we can improve how the clip looks using the contrast and the pivot sliders. Perfect. And this is our before and after. Look at the difference already, but it's still just the beginning. Now we will move to the secondary color adjustments. And here I will show you 2 types of curves I've been using most of the time recently. The first one is hue versus saturation. And the second one is saturation versus luminance. So let's start from the hue versus saturation. So I'll go to my curves. And here I will just boost the teal and orange look as I like it. So I'll click on these dots to create some automatic points on my curve. And I will push the teal and the orange up to add more saturation. This is before and after. Just look at the difference. And now we'll move to the saturation versus luma curve. And this curve helps us adjust the luma based on the saturation, like this. So what I like to do here is I like to create a point in the middle, and I'll move it up and down to see how my clip reacts, like this. I would just decrease the luminance in the most saturated parts of the clip in the midtones. And this is our before and after so far. And now we can also add another node at the end after our compound node. And this will be our final look adjustment in case we want to make some final tweaks. And here, for example, we can use the offset to shift color a little bit, like this. So you see this way we can change the teal and orange look and move it a bit more towards blue and magenta, or we can push it back a bit more towards orange and boost our teal and orange look. So feel free to play around with it. Now let's move to our log clip. And here I'll use exactly the same node tree and the same color space transform settings, as this is what I wanted to show you. Although our first clip is in Rec 709 and this one is in log, they both have already been converted to Rec 709 color space because of the color management. So that's why we can use the same settings for our CST node. So this is the clip before applying the LUT, and I'm applying the same LUT, and this is after. And this time the Kodak LUT worked pretty well, nothing is overexposed here. But let's see what we can do here. So first I will change my scopes to the parade, and I will adjust the exposure on the exposure node. Then let's move to balance and let's go to the vector scope and let's see if we can adjust the balance. Maybe I will just take out a little bit of that warmth from this clip, pushing the offset towards blue, before and after. And now the contrast. I will use my contrast and pivot sliders. And then again, I will use my hue versus saturation curve to add more saturation to my clip. Before and after. Now let's go to saturation versus luma and let's see what can we do here. Maybe I will just push it a little bit up in the midtones. And this is before and after. And now I will actually add two more parallel nodes. I want to carry on a bit more with the secondary adjustments. And here I will be using masks. So I will use the vignette on the first parallel node. And then here I will create a mask for the person. So let's just grab the round power window and let's create a vignette. And in order to affect the outside of the vignette, I have to reverse it over here. And now in order to darken the edges, I will just push the midtones down over here. And this is before and after. But I can also change the size of the vignette to darken a bigger portion of the clip outside the person in order to make her stand out a little bit more. And this is before and after. Now it looks more like a portrait. And now I'll go to another node and here I will combine the power window with the qualifier to boost the highlights a bit. So let's grab it again and let's place it on the person's face. And now let's go to the qualifier and let's push the luminance up to select only the brightest parts of the clip. And now I'll go back to my gamma wheel and I will push it up just a tiny bit to add more definition to my selection. And this is before and after. And now let's track it. And this is our final before and after. Thank you so much for watching my videos, guys. I hope that you like them. If you do, hit subscribe and don't forget to join my course. See you on the next one.